Hey guys, Frostbitten here, bringing you another audio commentary. This time it's going to be a 1 versus 1 between DoritoeFU and Casi0.
Hello. Yes, me lord.
Dorito, I've played a few games with him, and Casi0 I've allied him many times, but mostly Casi0 I've played with him on Battle.net Fastest. This is actually going to be OldEF, and we got a little bit of a deviation here. Casi0 is actually going middle. So the funny thing is, from 8 o'clock you have many choices if you start there. You can go S9 or you can go middle. You definitely can't stay at 8 o'clock. But going middle is usually the less and it's just not as safe as small 9. And it's pretty much comes down to micro battles with grunts usually. Especially if they both end up rushing. Now, pretty standard from Dorito is to be scouting this 5 o'clock position with a peon, because if there is a player here you do not scout with a peon and you end up getting towered, it's going to be really bad for you. Oh, lucky scout from Dorito, going to catch Casi0 right off the bat. Usually I send my peon back or I build a farm and then build a barracks over here, but he's actually scouting right away with the peon, able to spot this middle position almost immediately. Casi0 saying, "Hi, what's up?" We're to the peon, but this is, well, actually he's throwing down a lumber mill. I'm not sure about this. It's usually fairly easy to outrush someone from middle because they're kind of backed up a little bit, and you can attack them from like multiple angles. So I guess he's actually opting to go more for a power build, where he's gonna put a cat inside of his base. By cat I mean catapult, and he's gonna be able to defend his entire space with that catapult and try to deflect the grunts from Casi0. And he's also putting a tower down here, but Casi0 is able to spot that pretty handily. Unfortunately, if you make this into a cannon tower, it will snipe. It'll snipe some units. It'll snipe the peons pretty easily. So, I wonder why people don't build the town hall up here. I never understood that. I guess maybe because it's a little bit further away. But this one's a little bit more vulnerable to stuff like this. So, 2 grunts and a couple peons going to be able to clean that up fairly easily. I'm wondering if I should run my peasant away somewhere. When you're watching these games, you kind of have to hide your stuff and just hope that they don't find it and accidentally kill it. So I'm going to be able to watch this. He's wisely just going 1 racks. Usually they'll go 2 racks and just mass a whole bunch of grunts. But I think he was able to determine that because of the tower here and the earliness of the scout, that Dorito's actually not going to be able to... Oh, there's actually an outside barracks coming down from Dorito, so we'll have to see. But Casi0 was able to figure out that he's not necessarily going to be going for an early rush like he is, and he's actually opting more for a defensive build here. So this barracks over here, though, is going to play a big role later on. He's going to be able to get grunts and probably just mass a bunch of grunts and kill Casi0 in the middle before he's able to do anything about it. So Casi0 throwing down a lumber mill in an awkward position. I'd like to see it over here. It'll fit right here, and then you can chop the wood here and return it pretty fast. Because in the middle, there isn't too many spots around that you can chop wood fairly easily. So putting the lumber mill here is usually a good idea, so you can get wood faster early on, because that's usually when you need it, like right away. Because you run out of wood and you have to build something. And in this case, he's going for a catapult, so Dorito... Man, he's throwing down this barracks out here. It's gonna hurt Casi0 big time if he doesn't scout it. So, Casi0, I'm not sure how often he plays OldEF. I've mostly just seen him play Battle.net Fastest, the newer version of Garden of War. So I think that's the first time I've ever actually seen him in an OldEF game. So it's kind of interesting to me. And Dorito with this. I think he prefers OldEF, I am pretty sure. Well, same with him, I don't think he plays too much Battle.net Fastest. More OldEF for him. The one right here is not too far away, but in a matter of time, like they're going to be returning the wood from really far away, so that's why I kind of prefer it over here. Because you can chop here, and yeah. But middle is kind of an awkward position to take anyway. If you don't win the game pretty easily, or you're an early expansion type thing, then there's not a whole lot that can be done from it, because it's kind of awkward. But lots of grunts coming out from DoritoeFU. I almost called him. Never mind. So he might have played his hand a little bit too early. He doesn't have enough grunts to kind of overwhelm Casi0 at this point, and he exposed us so early that he's kind of giving Casi0 a chance to put us some towers. But maybe he wanted to defend against this catapult. He's not completely confident in his catapult micro, so he's kind of worried about that. So that's probably his best option, maybe, to try to stay in this game longer. Although I think if he would have just built another catapult, microed this one around, and just kept pumping out grunts down here, he would have Casi0 at a pretty big disadvantage going into the, considering the surprise factor that he would have going into the, with the grunts coming up the middle over here. So, but we'll have to see. I think Dorito's probably sitting in a good position now since that attack failed quite miserably for Casi0. So, I don't know, man. He's putting up a lot of towers. That's usually a bad sign. I think he could fit another town hall right here if he wants to. But I would prefer if he expanded like at 11 o'clock. 9 o'clock probably not so much because it's a little bit more vulnerable later on, but 11 o'clock would be good. But he spent a lot on towers. He's going to be able to clean up these grunts fairly easily, I think. Actually, I don't know if he can put the grunts here and not be hit by the tower. Maybe. I think it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think, what's the range on the guard tower? I don't know what the range is. I think it's 6. So I think they would still be able to get hit. It looks like it. So, Casi0 getting stronghold delayed. This is not good. Casi0's chances are he's going to lose this game. I think we can also fit another town hall here later to mine this as well. But he really needs to put on some massive pressure on Dorito if he's going to come out of this alive. So he needs to scout this and like take out all these barracks and these farms. But right now I think the production of Dorito is going to outproduce what Casi0 can make. So I think at this point this game is slipping from Casi0's grasp. So Dorito going to be able to take this game. Oh, already getting Fortress. Still stuck in Stronghold right now. Hasn't even built his Ogre Mound yet. Probably waiting for the gold because he only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He only has like 6 peons on gold, so this is horrible for Casi0. Dorito's going to win this, and I wouldn't be surprised if Casi0 just GG'd right now. He's got enough towers to hold it off for a little bit, but yeah, so this is over, he says. I don't know why he says again, but yeah, this game not looking good for Casi0 at all. He's losing. Yeah, he's losing. Oh, he started out at 6, so he moved from 6 to middle. Sometimes you can go S5 or 9, but mid is perfectly viable as well. But you really have to, you're really kind of committed to what you have to do. So he's saying that's his big downfall on OldEF is starting with 6 or 8, because the spots really are kind of worse. And that's kind of like the unique dynamic to this map that kind of attracts all the players, is like the imbalances at every position, and you kind of have to be creative and play in a creative way. So Dorito kind of lecturing Casi0 a little bit. Not sure how Casi0 is going to take that. Maybe they're good enough friends. So Casi0 saying 6 sucks. Yes, we all know 6 sucks. So there's kind of like this argument debating between Battle.net Fastest players and OldEF players, kind of like knocking each other's maps. The OldEF players are like, oh, everyone just does the same build every time from every spot. And then OldEF players are like, Battle.net Fastest players are like, well, all the spots are like different. You start out with advantages and disadvantages in different spots. So I think both the maps are balanced pretty well. It's just a matter of how well you play and how well you can change your style and stuff. I mean, I have problems on OldEF with certain spots like 6 and 8 and moving to S9 and going to S5 and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's not as bad. And in Battle.net Fastest, it's kind of a similar dynamic in the fact that 8 has a really big area you have to wall off. And then spots like 12, you just have this small choke point. So it's kind of... Yeah, so Casi0 are going to resign after he sees that eyeball float in. So that's kind of my take on the maps. I like them both. I like both speeds. There's nothing wrong with that. I kind of prefer Battle.net Fastest because I'm not quite as good at OldEF, but that's just me. So according to the stats, Dorito just kind of won, and that's kind of expected from the way that game went. So, alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys next time.